We begin by following the sound of the bell inward.
Please join me in prayer. As we know and affirm together that Spirit is alive and well on this beautiful late summer day. That Spirit is alive and well and fully inhabiting each soul here as we come together to celebrate our oneness with one another, to celebrate our oneness with Spirit, to celebrate our oneness with all of creation. It is all one. And so we come here today with open hearts, with open minds, and open to receive the guidance, the wisdom of Spirit as it flows through each of us individually and through this beloved community collectively. So I just give myself fully to this gathering this morning, knowing that as I do so, Spirit gives back 10, 20, 100-fold. So in that consciousness, I release my prayer knowing that it is already established, that a prayer spoken is a prayer answered. So I let go, I let God, and together we say, and so it is. Amen.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you, Chris. Yes, God bless you. Thank you, Chris, for setting such a beautiful space for us this morning in prayer. If you're new with us here this morning, either in the room or online, my name is Reverend Diana Johnson, and I'm the pastor and spiritual director for Mystic Heart Spiritual Center. We're an independent interfaith community. We teach universal principles and practical spirituality. So each week on Sunday mornings, we open our doors in welcome for our Sunday gatherings, which consist of Taizé, a meditative time together, a conscious conversation, followed by table ministry. You might call it lunch. So we trust that you will be led this morning, and that you are led always by your own guidance and wisdom, your own mystic heart. So we begin this morning in musical prayer. Feel free to join in should you feel called to do so.
Welcome home to your mystic heart. Lay aside whatever came before. Let your own intuition start. Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Shivaya, Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Shivaya, Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Oh, holy, guide me. I hear your voice inside me. Oh, holy, guide me. I hear your voice inside me. Oh, holy, guide me. I hear your voice inside me. Oh, holy, guide me. I hear your voice inside me. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Shivaya, Shivaya. Shivaya, Shivaya. Om Namah 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 Shivaya. Shivaya, Shivaya. Shivaya, Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Oh, holy, guide me. I hear your voice inside me. Oh, holy, guide me. I hear your voice inside me.
Or maybe you feel it.
Oh, holy, guide me. I hear your voice inside me. Oh, holy, guide me. I hear your voice inside me. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Shivaya, Shivaya. Shivaya, Shivaya. Om Namah 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 Shivaya. Shivaya, Shivaya. Shivaya, Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Oh, holy, guide me. I hear your voice inside me. Oh, holy, guide me. I hear your voice inside me. Oh, holy, guide me. I hear your voice inside me. Oh, holy, guide me. I hear your voice inside me. Oh, holy, guide me. I hear your voice inside me. Oh, holy, guide me. I hear your voice inside me.
Oh, holy, Holy One, guide me. Our daily prayer. I feel your voice inside me. I hear your voice in the stillness. Allowing the breath to rise and fall. Feeling the presence of the One. And using the power of inner vision to connect with our global community. Together we sense and tune into the web of consciousness that forever surrounds and infuses the planet. Each of us a radiant point of light in that web. Trusting that all beings carry and express the divine spark. Every human being, without exception, shining with God's radiant light. Every animal, every plant and microbe, every rock and grain of sand, the salt water, the fresh water, all of it a perfect and intentional expression of spirit. The seen and the invisible, the known and the unknowable, all included. There are never two, only one. One light, one life. As we acknowledge our connection with all of life, we are empowered. And our work here is empowered. Our collective prayer and meditation leave an imprint of peace, compassion, and grace on the world. Transformation is underway for each of us individually and for us as a human collective living in a world full of beautiful life. This month we're considering what it means to celebrate divinity while practicing our humanity. This morning we share in reflection around one of the simplest and most profound truths, that there are never two. There is only one. Human beings are built for the experience of duality. We're biologically driven to move toward pleasure and away from pain. Existing in the material realm as physical beings, we experience polarities. We live in a world of opposites. We see both light and dark. We hear loud and soft. We taste flavors that are spicy or bland. We smell the sweet and the pungent. And our skin senses both hot and cold. The existence of duality in the world of body and mind cannot be overlooked. It is the fundamental pattern supporting the flow of human experience. And yet, in the absolute realm of truth, we say and know that there are never two. There is only one. How can we become peaceful within the paradox that is our life? By accepting that it is within the one that all polarities exist. Everything is included. They are simply aspects of the One, aspects of God, of Spirit. We're drawn as humans to the experiences that we would call good or enjoyable. And we wish to avoid, deny, or resist those we would call bad or uncomfortable. It reassures us to learn that we are one with goodness and light, and that we are here to be beacons of light in the world. It is a bit less appealing to know that we are also one with the darkness. We are not separated from injustice. We are not separated from hatred or violence. Under the right circumstances, any of us can be kind, compassionate, and loving. And equally, we can be uncaring, indifferent, or cruel. All of this is true. There are never two, only one. As we become willing to face the polarities and to bear the reality of all that is occurring in our world, and to drop our stories about them, we become more peaceful. We are not in control of the world and its events. We are not in control of what is. But we can be in control of our experience of it. As we become present with what is, dropping the narrative that our thinking brains are forever creating, we find our center. As we let go of the burden of the thoughts and emotions around our story, we become the center.
The great Sufi mystic poet Rumi wrote, "Out beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right doing, there is a field. I'll meet you there. When the soul lies down in that grass, the world is too full to talk about. Ideas, language, even the phrase each other doesn't make any sense. The breeze at dawn has secrets to tell you. Don't go back to sleep. You must ask for what you really want. Don't go back to sleep. People are going back and forth across the door sill where the two worlds touch. The door is round and open. Don't go back to sleep." Rumi invites us to momentarily suspend our judgments, right and wrong, good and bad, and to expand our awareness, to be radically inclusive, to remember that absolute reality is infinite. There is room for all of it. And our hearts begin to open wide enough to include more and more of what is. When we reach that field, that cosmic consciousness, the pairs of opposites seem more like two ends of a single stick, like heads and tails. Spirit in its expression in material form. We are at the door sill where spirit and matter touch. We have access to that greater awareness. The door is open. When we deeply contemplate the oneness of all creation, both visible and unseen, Spirit reveals its essential unity to us. In our shared 3 minutes of silent meditation today, let us cross that door sill. Let us find that field that is out beyond our dualistic thinking, beyond words, free from judgment. Let us lie down in that cool, sweet grass and allow the great mystery to whisper its secrets to us, to show us how all things contain their opposites, and the divine contains it all. O holy, divine mystery, great parent of all creation, thank you for all that you have given us, for challenges that grow us, for blessings that heal us and bring us joy, And thank you for this beloved community, for these blessed souls who share this spiritual path. May we never forget who and whose we are. In the same poem, Rumi invites us to let the beauty we love be what we do. There are hundreds of ways to kneel and kiss the ground. We have countless opportunities to make this world a better place. The beauty that we love is there to guide us in our actions. As Taizé continues, we allow Reverend Diana's inspirations to permeate our hearts and minds. We welcome transformation as the divine expands our awareness and continually reminds us that there is never two, only one.
May we be awake to the beauty, wonder, and goodness of this world. May we always be grateful and give thanks abundantly. And may we also be awake to the troubles of the world and not avoid, resist, deny, or ignore them. May we not seek escape from our neighbor's suffering, even when our escape looks like spirituality or painting the darkness with positivity. But rather may we face the challenges head on, dropping our stories about them and seeing them for what they are, opportunities for healing, and doing what we can to ease the suffering as we feel called. May each of us commit ourselves to being a beacon of light in the world, not concerned about how this might come about, because with true commitment, the way always becomes clear. That which is beyond pleasure and pain, beyond peace and conflict, beyond hope and hopelessness, that is within you. It is the pure presence of spirit, eternal, beyond time, yet expressing and experiencing itself in time, as time. It is the one truth, the one reality, unchanging, yet forever changed by every thought, word, and action. When you live from that which is within you, you can face anything. There is a spaciousness that comes when we live in acceptance of what is. There is a freedom that comes with facing the pleasurable and the painful without a narrative. There is a freedom that comes with facing emotions without a storyline. And there is a sense of contentment that comes with allowing everything to be included, in seeing that there is never two. There is only one. The one source of all that is. The one life. Living as all of creation. I feel so blessed to know that I am and that each of us is a perfect and intentional creation, an expression of that one. I can let go of the I that my brain tells me I am, my story of me, and settle into the truth. I am an expression of the divine, having a continuous human experience in this lifetime. What a gift. What a blessing. Life as a human being. How much power am I entrusted with? The power to co-create with Spirit. The power to choose how I will direct that power. How I will direct the life energy that I've been given. How many beautiful capacities I've been granted. The capacity for kindness, generosity, love, compassion, peace, joy, and freedom. In this sacred moment, I commit to making best use of this awesome power and these amazing capacities, to leave the world a more beautiful and loving place than I found it. I commit to being a beneficial presence on the planet and to serving the planet and her beings in the highest ways I can. Thank you, Spirit, for the gift of this beautiful once-in-a-lifetime day. I make every moment count. Thank you for these beautiful souls that are choosing to share in this journey with me. And thank you for every blessing, those that look like the good stuff of life, and those that challenge me to grow in strength, compassion, resilience, integrity, and love. I allow myself now to be carried by the music.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Together we release this prayer, both spoken and musical, trusting that it's already done its work. A prayer spoken with feeling and a deep sense of faith is a prayer answered. And so I let it be. And so it is. Amen. Gently return our awareness back into the space. I feel shifted. Feel free to look around and see if anyone came in while we were in meditation. One branch of your spiritual family anyway. Maybe the main branch for some and the minor branch for others.
The root for me.
The root for me too. The trunk. So as we close our Taizé meditation this morning, we offer an opportunity for you to share of your financial good in support of the work that we're doing in the world. And if you're joining us online this morning, you can go to our website, mysticheart.org, and you'll find a donate button. You'll find our mailing address. So we thank you in advance for your gifts in every form that they come in. This community is blessed by each and every one who takes part. So the song we want to share with you during our time of offering reminds me, no, this is last week. I'm not reading that because I should have gotten rid of that. The song we want to, I'll speak from my head, how's that? My heart. The song that we're sharing today is a video made using one of Michael Franti's songs. It's called I'm on Your Side. And you guys know that several of us went to the concert a while back as it came through. And I was forever changed by this human being. And so we're going to have both offertories today with him. This one will be a shorter, calmer one. And then during the conversation, we're going to actually go to the beginning of one of his concerts together. Enjoy.
Guess who?
Wow.
If you ever lay awake at night, wondering if we'll be alright, I'm on your side. I'm on your side. If you're sitting at the kitchen table, counting up your bills to pay, I'm on your side. I'm on your side. If you drop the kids at school and wonder if they'll make it home today, I'm on your side. I'm on your side. If you're staring at the TV stations, wondering how we got this way, I'm on your side. I'm on your side. Can you hear me? Is your heart beating like a drum? Can you hear me? I don't care where you come from, I am on your side. I'm on your side. I'm on your side. I'm on your side. I'm on your side. Ice is clinking in your cup. You're thinking about giving up. I'm on your side. I'm on your side. And if you got the news today, doctors telling you to pray, I'm on your side. I'm on your side. And if you feel the pounding fear when flashing lights are in your mirror, I'm on your side. I'm on your side. And if you hold a friend and say, I wonder how we got this way, I'm on your side. I'm on your side. Can you hear heart beating like a drum. Can you hear me? I don't care where you come from, I'm on your side. I'm on your side. I'm on your side. I'm on your side. I'm on your. If you're weary and you're broken and you don't know what to hope in, if you're willing and you're able, come and meet me at the table. If you lost your way to laughing, can't remember how to dancing, if you're out of tears to crying, take my hand and I'm on your side. 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 I'm on your side.
I say thank you for these gifts that are given this day. Thank you for the music. Thank you for this time shared together. Thank you for this beautiful space that is afforded by the gifts that are given to this community. I receive them with a loving and appreciative heart, knowing that this community commits to using them well and returning them out, multiplied back out into our greater community. And so it is. Amen. So feel free to grab something to sip on if you wish, and welcome back for Conscious Conversation, should you wish, at 10:30. And I'm going to bless you on your way with a soul's blessing.
May your soul always find what it's looking for. May your heart always lead the way. May you live in peace and harmony. And may love always fill your day. May your path be strewn with happiness. May success find you everywhere. May you always embrace compassion and grace, and may God always answer your prayers. May you always embrace compassion and grace, and may God always answer your prayers.
God bless you. Thank you for being here this morning. Excitement this morning.
All right. Well, good morning. Again. Please join me in prayer as we know together that there is indeed only one thing going on, one life, one love, one light, one understanding, one consciousness. That one I call God, call it the divine. It's called Allah, Wakantanka, the Buddha mind, the Christ consciousness. Whatever we call it, it is one, undivided, and it is all that is in the universe. The universe is the manifest body of spirit, and each one of us is part of that. So I give thanks for this understanding because it empowers us to make use of the creative power of spirit in our daily lives. It enables us to access that divine consciousness, that infinite wisdom, and it allows us to expand our awareness beyond our normal day-to-day perceptions as we realize our oneness with spirit and that the same Spirit that created all the heavens and the earth is the same Spirit that lives within each of our hearts. So we welcome that Spirit, we welcome one another, we welcome the love in this place, and we just turn it over to the unseen hands, knowing that this gathering this morning is divinely guided, divinely guarded, and so I let go, I let God, and so it is.
And so it is.
Amen.
Thank you, Chris. Beautiful prayer. Good morning. Welcome or welcome back. Looks like a welcome back almost all around. If you're new with us here online this morning, I'm Diana Johnson, and I'm the pastor and spiritual director here at Mystic Heart Spiritual Center. We're an independent interfaith community that teaches universal principles and practical spirituality. So we welcome you. We open our doors. Should you be looking for a home, you may have found one. We're going to begin this morning with some upbeat music. You're welcome to sing along. We change out one of the songs every month, and so you'll recognize this month's third song, but watch the lyrics because they're not what you might think.
She took some liberties with Neil Diamond there.
Welcome to the Mystic Heart. Join the celebration. Lift your voice and sing your part. Make this affirmation. Spirit made us family, loving hearts to share. Together we are joyfully practicing the possible through prayer. Everything's possible. So welcome to the Mystic Heart. sunshine, I got rain. Then I felt your grace. Now I'm a believer, not a trace of doubt in my mind. God is love. Oh, I'm a believer, I couldn't leave you if I tried.
I like the new make of that song. That's awesome.
Isn't that fun? That's fun. So let's take a creative journey together this morning, calling upon the full power of brain, of heart, of gut, of body, feeling the presence of spirit just moving through and using that as we go into the imaginal realm, into that creative space where we create our love-soaked world. See and feel with me now a world in which all beings live from their very highest potential, from kindness and compassion and generosity, from peace and beauty and joy, love and freedom. In this world of our creation, all people honor and respect one another, honor and respect every creature from the very tiniest to the largest, love and respect every plant, everything that this beautiful planet offers to sustain us, knowing that we honor and respect Mother Nature herself. We remember that we're connected to all of life, that we are dependent on the planet to sustain us, and we're dependent on one another for belonging and connection. By aligning every thought, word, and action with our vision, we're creating a world in which all people are well fed. All people have the safety and comfort of home and a deep sense of purpose, belonging, and contribution. A world in which health, education, and healthy relationships are well supported by social systems grounded in integrity, compassion, and wholeness. Valuing every being for its uniqueness, we practice living truly authentic lives where vulnerability is accepted and celebrated.
Yeah.
There's no need to defend ourselves or to protect ourselves from anything. The work we're doing within ourselves shows up as a world free of violence, free of hatred. We recognize and appreciate the abundance that just flows all around us. Greed is a thing of the past. Generosity is the norm. And all beings gratefully receive all that is needed to live a physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually fulfilling life.
Yes.
The planet and its beings thrive like never before as we recognize the sacred in everyone and everything, and we act accordingly. We walk in reverence, in humility, and in gratitude for all that we've been given. We're creating a new world, moment by moment, aligning our actions with our vision, living these changes first in our own lives, with our families, our friends, our neighbors. And as we do, one neighborhood, one community at a time, a new world is being born. In this process of profound change, this beloved community stands as an open and welcoming place for any and all who seek support, belonging, and family. By the power of our deep faith and inspired action, this prayer is acted upon, answered even as it is spoken. For Spirit knows our heart's desire and our pure intent. And so in full expectation of its graceful unfolding, and with the deepest humility and gratitude, we release our word to the creative power and intelligence that I call God. We release our word to the one that gets it done. And together we say, and so it is. Amen. Amen.
Bring it.
Bring it. Bring it. Bring it. So our theme this month is Celebrating Divinity, Practicing Humanity. So walking kind of with one foot in each world, because that's where we live, right? And the topic of conversation today is never two, only one.
Yay.
Never two, only one. So this morning during Taizé, we spent some time reflecting on how human beings are built for polarity. Human beings see opposites. We live in a world of opposites, or where we perceive opposites. Could you turn my dinger off? That was mine.
I was trying to. I couldn't find it. Do you know where it is?
It's in my purse
Where'd
in the
you go,
front
Dean?
in the front pocket. Yeah. Sorry about that. We can only experience the world, one thing as relative to another thing. We live in a world of relativity. And the world the material realm does not lend itself to absolutes very well. Everything seems relative to everything else. And we said in Taizé that the existence of duality in the materialistic realm can't be overlooked. We can't just pretend it isn't that way. We don't walk out into the street when a Mack truck is coming because we know that, well, really there's more space there than there is solid, right? Go ahead, try it. We can't overlook that. We have to live as though it is absolutely real, because in our experience, it is absolutely real. We said that the existence of duality in the material realm can't be overlooked, that its fundamental pattern, it's actually the fundamental pattern supporting the flow of all human experience. So everything we experience in this world of perceived opposites and the continuum that goes between, hot, cold, and everything in between, up, down, everything in between, good, bad. So that's just how we're built. And yet, in the absolute realm of truth, we know that there's never more than one thing going on. We say there's only one thing happening. So we examined how we might become peaceful within the paradox that we call our life. Our life is a bunch of paradoxes all jumbled together. And I suggested that we become more at peace with paradox when we accept that opposites exist within the one, that everything's included in that one, that it's just all part of it. They're different. Huh?
It's bundled.
It's bundled. Just different aspects of spirit, but it's all spirit expressing. So human beings are drawn to pleasure. We talked about drawn to pleasure, try to avoid pain. There's another polarity. It's our survival mechanism, right, that we do that. We recognize that we are both goodness and light, and under the right circumstances that any one of us can be uncaring, indifferent, or cruel. That by accepting this about ourselves, we can then gain compassion for others, because we are really all the same in that way. And we wrapped it up by recognizing that we are not in control of the world. Have you noticed?
Not again.
Or its events. We're not in control of what is. When we open the paper, turn on the news, when we even look out in our own neighborhood, and we see that darn flag still hanging on that house that has those words that we'd rather not look at. I'm not in control of my neighbor's house. But what am I in control of?
You.
How I experience
Absolutely.
whatever's going on. Do I walk by the house and cuss the fellow out, or do I walk by and issue a blessing and go on my way? So that's what we can control. And as we become present with what is, as we become present with what is, because I don't want Jamie to miss this one. As we become present with what is and drop our storyline about it, our narrative about it, that's when we really find peace. She's like, yes, we had this conversation earlier today, so that's why I paused. That's where the peace comes in. So, let's see. Oh yeah, there was a quote that I used earlier that I'll restate for anybody that wasn't there. As we become present with what is, dropping the narrative that our thinking brains are forever creating, or maybe yours isn't like mine, but I've noticed this week, especially giving attention to this topic, It never stops. It has opinions about everything.
Yes.
My growth is that I don't let that run me. It doesn't run me. But if I stop and listen, there's a story going on all the time about everything. It's all right. It's how the brain's built. As we let go of the burden of our thoughts and emotions around the story, we become the center. We don't just get centered, we can actually become the center. And I will open it up in a moment, David, but I'm going to go a little further. Okay. That's
Holding my head.
okay. Holding my head. So this is where I want to jump into the conversation. I don't want to really go revisit all that. I just gave a quick recap. So that's what we're going to start with, our stories today, our stories. Then a little while down the road, I'll turn a corner and invite us to look at the most important question we can ask ourselves. So are we ready?
Yep.
All right. So I'm going to begin by guiding you through a short process as our jumping off point. Then we'll talk about it. It won't take very long. So feel free to close your eyes if you're comfortable doing so, or rest your gaze downward and just relax the gaze. Take a couple of deep breaths. Ground yourself. You know, Jason Mraz says, be where your feet are. Now I want to invite you to take a moment to think about a challenging circumstance in your life right now. Something you might be dealing with at the present time. Consider, what is it that's happening? Maybe who is involved? Maybe looking at, what is it about the situation that's challenging you? Or maybe it's flat out hard. Or you're just flat out angry or sad. What is it you'd like to see happen? How would that make you feel if that thing happened? How are you feeling right now without resolution, without that thing happening? Just as things are right now. Okay. Feel free to open your eyes, and I promise I'm not going to leave you there, but just for a pause, for a moment. How easy was it to pull up the situation into focus in your mind? Was it hard? Was it easy? Was it clear?
It's easy.
Easy for you? Yeah. How easy was it to fill in all the details? When I said, you know, who's involved, what is it that's happening, how do you feel, blah, blah, blah.
Crystal clear.
Crystal clear. Okay. Why do you suppose it's so easy to pull up and it's so clear?
Because it's happening in your life right now.
Okay, because it's happening in your life right now. I see you, but let me move around a little first.
Because that's where my emotions are.
Because that's where your emotions are, okay?
Often we've rehearsed that story over and over again.
Oh, we've rehearsed
Oh,
that
yeah.
story over and
The
over
monkey
again.
mind.
Yeah. Yeah. Anybody else? Any thoughts?
It's familiar, it's a pattern of response.
Okay, a familiar pattern of response. In other words, you have a story around the circumstance, right? We all do it. That's how our brains work. We work with language and with stories. There's a narrative that comes up every time you think about this particular circumstance.
Yeah.
Is this true? I mean, I'm speaking for myself and assuming I'm not the only one where this happens. It plays and plays and plays in my head. And this week, giving attention to this topic and to the invitation I'm going to extend to you in a while to move into your week with some questions, I did this with myself all week, and boy, it never stops. It just doesn't stop. The work that we do can lead to a time when you are no longer driven at all by it. But if you stop and pay attention, it's still there. Dang it. So, how do I ask this? Anyone in the room feel very justified in your story?
Oh, yeah.
Of course. Of course. Seems like a true story, right? Agreed? I can only speak to you what I need to hear. That's why this is up for me this week. So, okay, close your eyes again, because we don't want to leave that upset in there. Let that story play for another couple of moments. Who's there? What's happening? How do you feel? Now, in whatever way works for you, stop the narrative. Let go of the story. Maybe visualize putting it on the ground, visualize setting it on the altar, just dropping and letting it dissipate. Whatever form that takes, put it down. What happened?
It stopped.
It stopped. So you're saying without the story, there's actually nothing there. I know when I went through this guiding myself through and did that the first time, and even this time again, but it was really pronounced the first time, that everything just went silent. Just for a bit. But there was no dialogue. There was nothing in there. For just a little bit. There was a brief moment of stillness, complete stillness. There was literally nothing there. It left me with the realization that the actual experience was just what I'm experiencing in my head, that the story wasn't real, and it was just my mind doing what minds do. And there's nothing wrong with the brain because it does this. It's what it's built for. It's what it's built for. It's a storyteller. So I read something this week that said, what if we were to take the egoic brain and all of its thinking and stories, what if we were to elevate it in status? We always think of putting it in the back seat, or not letting it drive. What if we were to elevate that egoic mind in status and make it the observer, the watchdog, and really just acknowledge it for that, instead of the storyteller? It would be like a promotion. We'd be promoting our ego to a higher status.
That should make it happy.
Yeah, that'll make it happy, right?
Yes, it will.
You can actually begin to shift the tendency to tell that story by giving that ego a higher cause, a higher purpose. It's really kind of interesting how it works. It doesn't like it when we try to put it in the back seat. It just fights back. Right? Yeah.
Well, I just sat here and it's like, and it kind of zoomed back like this, it kind of, and that quietness came, that stillness, and it was like, just this.
Just this. Yeah. Just this moment. Just this. Just this. No words are needed. Nice.
It's also like, now I have something more important to do than tell that same old story again and
Right.
again and again.
Yes.
Hmm.
I have something much more important to do than to tell a story. It's my job to pay attention.
And something similar, but it made me smile because you said watchdog.
Mm-hmm.
And I think about my dogs when they go out into the yard and bark. And I say good girls, but then I say enough.
Right.
Right? Like,
Yes.
you did a good job. You alerted
Yes.
me
Thank
to
you.
what you thought the
Yes.
danger would be.
Uh-huh.
And now that I've seen that and
Mhm.
analyzed it,
Yes.
enough.
Right.
And it's like I envisioned that, saying that to my
Yeah.
ego. Like,
It's
thank
a
you.
perfect
Okay.
metaphor. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for pointing me toward this direction. Enough. Put it down. Yeah.
Well, mine was the same thing. Thank you for bringing it to my attention.
Yes.
You can let it go now.
Yes. Yeah.
Those are those big aha moments.
Yeah, they are. So, did you feel any emotions coming up as you were telling your story, as you were replaying your circumstance? I'm going to call it telling your story. I don't mean to play it down as though it's not real. It is a real experience.
I could name the emotions,
Okay,
and there were just one.
all right,
They are complex because they're
Yes.
interwoven,
right.
and one thing led to the other and back to the other. So it's an interesting loop
Uh-huh,
of emotions that played out
Yeah.
as I tell the story.
yeah. What do you suppose that's doing in your body's chemistry?
Hmm.
Wreaking havoc.
Nothing good.
Yes.
And it's really not the story, it's the backstory because it's not happening right now.
Right.
It's the backstory. That's
Yeah,
what,
There's nothing actually happening
Yeah.
right now,
yeah.
except for your brain thinking the thoughts.
And your ego, which people say, I'm going to get rid of my ego, but your ego is what keeps you in your body.
Right.
Because it's the one that
Yeah.
tells you how to drive, what to do, and it makes decisions. It
Right.
doesn't always make good decisions because it's coming from survival. But what I've come to realize is when my mind starts to play this game, I tell it to shut the F up. And it goes okay because it knows I mean it. Because I've been doing it long enough. And I don't have to say that, but it does listen to me when it realizes I've had it.
Enough.
Enough.
There you go, enough. So when you dropped the story, when I said put it down and you set it down, did the emotions disappear? Did the emotions disappear when you dropped the story?
Yeah, because it has nothing to hold on to, your
Because it has
emotions.
nothing to hold on to. Yeah. It's actually, well, first, let me say, did you know that if you face an emotion straight on, without any story attached to the emotion, with no narrative, that the emotion will pass in 90 seconds.
Mhm.
It's been studied, it's been measured. 90 seconds is all an emotion will last without a story or a narrative to keep it
Feed it.
in place, to feed it. Yeah, 90 seconds. So we tend to consciously then say, okay, I'm going to let this thing run its course, and then we go back to the story.
Yep.
So it's the going back to the story that gets that emotion going, keeps it moving, keeps it there at all. Isn't that a powerful bit of information? I don't know, I found that to be very powerful. 90 seconds.
I'm just amazed at the synchronicity of togetherness and being. And just this morning I was on my porch and I was just thinking, oh, my thoughts are so powerful, you know, And it's just flowing with what you're saying and how we direct them or let them drop down in a way, or, you know, enough. It just, I don't even, can't even convey the power of what we can do with them too.
Yeah.
You know, what we can create
Yes.
with it. I'm sorry.
And
it's
to
all
both
kinds of emotions
extremes,
coming
to
up.
both extremes and everything in between, we can create amazing beauty and joy and uplifting experience, and we can create hell.
Isn't that also just a story, though? The beauty
Maybe
of the
it
experience.
is it?
It's a love. It's a, well, it's, yeah.
Yeah,
Some person's beauty is the other person's hell.
right. It's
Just
the world of relativity.
Exactly.
It's just
It's all still a
everything.
story.
Yeah,
Chooses how we tell the story.
right,
And we can
Yeah.
always choose how to tell the story.
right. But not everyone on the planet knows that or buys that. That's maybe, if the story is that there's a problem, then maybe that's the problem. There's a story.
You mentioned we have the power to co-create heaven or hell,
Mm-hmm.
but it seems like we have more faith in our power to create hell.
Kind of seems that way sometimes, huh? Kimber?
I forgot what I was gonna say. Let me think real quick, because it was important, or I wouldn't have raised my hand. When you relive that story, every emotion you have, I mean, you might as well go back and start over and do it again.
Right.
You experience it,
Yeah.
even in your thoughts, you're reliving it, and
Yes.
all those, whatever emotions are made out of, come up, and you feel them, just like it's happening now.
And the same brain chemistry goes off.
Everything.
And your brain
So-
does not know the difference.
So you're really messing with yourself if
You
you're
are.
gonna live that story forever.
Yes. Yes, you are.
You're miserable.
It's like, do you have the right to do it? Absolutely. How is it serving you? Might want to look at that, you know? Did you have any?
Oh, no.
Oh, okay.
I noticed something interesting. There was a main emotion attached to it that was kind of holding up all the other,
Mm-hmm.
and it's repeated in my life.
Ah,
So I started thinking, how much of this current thing is really so much of that,
mm-hmm.
or just another opportunity
Right.
to clean up my consciousness
Mm-hmm.
of past experiences?
That's an insight right there. Nice. Lucinda?
I'm also kind of tying off of Chris, because a lot of times what'll happen is, it'll be something in race consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
And you might bring it down into this, my own personal experience right now.
Right.
But then you have to stop when you start to go clean that stuff up.
Yeah,
How much of that is something I learned of my mommy and daddy's name?
right, exactly.
which-
There's some powerful stories in the race mind. One of those is that human nature, it's human nature
Yeah.
to be evil or to be bad or to not be able to, you know, always stand in a place of peace or goodness or whatever. These are all stories that we're born into.
One of the things that I want to remind myself is, I don't need to make it even worse by telling myself that that's harder,
Right,
because that's a story too.
yes.
Telling myself that it's harder to get rid of the stuff I learned from them is also a story. And I'm such a good storyteller.
And whether you tell yourself it's hard or doesn't mean that you need to tell yourself it's easy. That's another story. What about just letting
is.
go of the need to always have commentary on everything that's happening and just be present? James and then Chris.
So from what Lucinda just said, I feel like for myself, it starts off with a race consciousness emotional trigger, and then I write the story to justify the emotional
Right, yeah,
aspect of it.
yes,
And it goes, yeah, that's right.
Uh-huh.
I'm fine with that.
right,
So when I actually
That's
stop
right.
the story, I feel the emotion, go, why is that emotion there?
right,
And then I can visit it.
yeah,
But in the midst of that trigger moment, it's generally kind of defensive and,
yeah, right.
yeah, very
Yeah,
justified.
very justified, self-righteous. Then do Chris and then Kimber.
Well, what Cherie was saying a minute ago, that main emotion that kind of is supporting all the others, It reminds me of when you and I first started doing prayer work together. One of the questions you asked me was, you know, what's the earliest memory you have of feeling this way? And that whatever that trauma was or whatever it was just repeats itself over and over and shows up in different guises, different masks and different characters, but
Yeah.
it's the same stuff.
Same old stuff.
I read The Untethered Soul. It's a book.
Yeah.
And I remember when it came to the part where it was talking about, in the book it says, you're walking down the street and you see a car and it reminds you of your uncle's car, so your narrator, I think that's how you say it, says, oh, my uncle had a car like that. And oh, that tree over there was like the one that was in my sister's tree, whatever. So you go along and you got this narrator just doing everything and it takes you out of the moment.
Right.
And I watched Ramtha when he was my teacher, and he would get up there, and when he was quiet, he wasn't thinking about anything. It was kind of amazing. I mean, you could tell when he would put his mouth open and talk, but during the silent times, he was really present. And after I went up there and had a class, and on the way home, I thought, wow, I wonder if I can do that. So I got out of I pulled over to go to the bathroom in a rest stop, walked around without any thought, just looked at everything, and I lost time, and it was the sweetest place I'd ever been, and I've only been there a couple times because it's real hard to get this to be quiet.
Yeah.
But being present and realizing that your narrator is just, I don't know why it's doing it. I guess it's because it needs to talk, but you don't need to have somebody telling you in your brain what everything's reminding you. Everything is new.
Right.
And I laughed when I read that. I got hysterical, and I laughed for like 5 minutes. I couldn't believe how funny that was that I didn't know that.
Yeah. There's also, I just heard a little story in there that it's hard to get it to stop. But we all just proved that that's not true. We all just, or a lot of us anyway, had the experience of everything stopping just by consciously putting it down. So it isn't hard. So even that story was, is it?
It's a
hard?
story, right.
It's a story. It's all stories. Lori?
It's not necessarily about it's fully stopping. It's just not choosing it and
Right.
choosing to keep
Right.
your attention on the other thing, like you said.
Yeah.
If you really tune in, and it's in there somewhere,
Right.
doing its thing, but you
But it's
can consciously shift your attention
Yeah.
to something else
Yeah.
and let it go by and not choose those thoughts.
That's right.
It's hard to
It's a
remember.
powerful tool, Chris.
It reminds me of in the Tai Chi experience, where your mind goes, the energy flows.
Yeah, where your mind goes, energy flows. So I want to, okay,
What?
then after this, we're going to turn a corner. 'cause I
Okay.
have one more.
One thing I found out when my monkey mind's going crazy, and I know I really don't want to think that way, I go into gratitude and I start thanking God for everything,
Yeah.
and it shifts.
Right.
Everything, your vibration goes up, and that's how I get out of that monkey mind, by
Yeah.
being in gratitude.
When the vibration shifts, the body chemistry shifts, everything shifts, and now suddenly you're transported to a different place. It's not hard.
It's easy, but it's hard to remember that it's easy.
There's another story. We're full of stories, aren't we? How funny. All right, so we can turn a corner. What do you think is the most important question that we can ask ourselves? Let's see, Sheree?
I'm gonna go with, how is this story serving me?
Okay, how is this story serving you?
I'm just taking the context
Yeah.
of the conversation,
Yeah, that's
not
fine.
global.
That's fine. I'm curious what you see as important questions.
What do I value?
What do I value?
And what perspective do I have of it?
Okay, what perspective do I have of what I value?
Who am I?
Who am I?
Truly, not just Kimberly sitting
Yeah.
here,
Right,
but who am I truly?
okay.
And that was my big question in my life, and I found out, and I got it answered, and it gave me peace. And that's,
Okay.
I'm God being Kimberly. makes a big difference.
Nice. Who am I? Important question. Lucinda?
One of the ones for me was, is this really the story I'm still telling myself?
Is this really the story I'm still telling myself?
And then I got the answer of no.
Ah. Okay.
Well, sometimes I'll know this story isn't serving me, so then I ask, what's the payoff
What's the
for
payoff?
keeping this story alive?
Yeah. These are all really good questions. All really good questions, and all but one of them leads us right back into story. What's the payoff? Leads me into story. Is this really the story I'm still telling myself? Leads me on into story. Jamie?
I ask myself, is this true?
Is this true?
Is it true? I mean,
Does that lead you to a simple yes or no?
It leads me to an awareness of what I have control of and what I don't.
So more story. Gotta say, Bob?
Yeah, I think of a flashlight in my mind. I call it the positive flashlight, and it's shining. So and when my story starts, and I don't want to think of that, I see the flashlight dimming and running my battery down. I just show it the door and don't let it run my battery down. The flashlight shines brighter.
Yeah.
Because it's positive.
There you go. So Kimberly's question is the one I had in mind, and this is taken also from the work of Gangaji, who also takes it from Papaji, her teacher. So it goes back in her lineage of teaching, and it's been approached by Greek philosophers and many others. Who am I? And the reason that question seems so powerful, and you know, I'm going to take it a step further, not just who am I, because that also can lead us to stories, but who am I being in this moment? Who am I being in this moment? Am I being the truth of who I am in this moment? Because any other questions that we ask ourselves lead to more stories. We're really big with how and why, right? We like those questions. How did this happen? Why did they do that thing over there? Can't they clearly see that? The hows and whys really lead to storytelling. Whereas if we're looking at who am I being in this moment, it at least takes us to a very simple, narrow identification with a particular way of being. So what would happen if instead of how and why questions, we asked ourselves, who am I being in the moment? What qualities am I bringing forth in this moment? What might happen for us?
Take me right out of the moment.
Huh?
Take me right out of the moment.
Take me right out of the moment?
I believe so, yeah. From the areas I'm thinking about this challenge and these struggles, the stories that I might be writing, whether it's a story around somebody else's desire for me to do something this particular way or whatever. Those are all stories. We all share these stories with each other, around each other, at each other. And so then I don't know how to operate within that moment when I shut the story off.
Yeah.
What's this guy standing there looking at the trees right now? Being present.
Right. Yeah.
So,
Interesting. Could you say that again? What? Yeah, because I kind of lost a moment.
Just what would happen if instead of asking how did this happen, why did this happen, these complicated questions, if we just asked ourselves, who am I being in this moment? You know, what qualities am I bringing forth? Who am I being right now?
depending on how much the story's running you, that can be an embarrassing self-realization.
It can be. Yes. Do you think it might lead back to presence? To mindfulness?
It might even lead that back to forgiveness
It might lead to forgiveness.
of yourself and others, because that's what stories are all about. They come up so that we can forgive. I believe forgiveness is one of the best gifts we have, because when we don't forgive, we get sick.
They seem to believe that that's true. Yeah.
So I'd rather be in forgiveness.
Nice. So,
I
yes,
guess
go
it
ahead.
brings you to the present moment so that you have an opportunity to actually see what's before you.
Yes.
And then you're able to bring forth what is needed, or what you think is needed, but bring forth what is needed to be in harmony with it.
Yeah. You can choose who and what you're being as you are with what actually is. So it becomes a better match. It's a conscious choice. Instead of being in some other story that's going on over here while this person's in front of you right here, it's really, can be difficult to align with what is before you when your mind is
It's actually
racing on.
being able to see them or the circumstance
For what it is.
independently of
Yes.
the backstories you have running.
Right. Yeah. So is there anything else around these ideas that wants to be spoken? I see him over there. I just try not to go always to Chris first. He's always on it. He's a good student.
I was reminded of an earlier teacher I had. He says, I was walking down the street and I realized there was a whole conversation going on in my head and I wasn't even in it.
I wasn't even in it. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's not to make that bad or wrong, or it's totally human. It's totally normal. But when we are so out of touch with what's before us because our mind is in the past or the future telling stories about things, it's impossible to be fully present and mindful with what we're doing, with who we're being with. And so it behooves us, it serves us to find ways to bring ourselves back into the present moment.
That reminds me of something you said or was said about if you're running this backstory and paying attention to it, your mind is so full,
Right.
it can't take anymore.
Yeah.
But if you
Right.
can shut that down, then the mind becomes more open.
Yeah, yes. So I invite you to take that question into your week. Who am I being in this moment? Who am I being in this moment? Who am I being in this moment?
A lot of moments.
It's a lot of moments. See how often you can remember to come back to who am I being in this moment. Maybe we can pick up next week and say, anybody try the experiment? Because I really was appalled paying attention to how much chatter is always going on in my mind. I always have experienced myself as a verbal processor. That's how I process things. And so, anybody that knows me knows I talk in the garden, I talk to the plants, I talk to the bugs, I talk to the animals, I talk to myself, I don't just have it in here. I talk. It's how I process. And so I played with that this week, noticing, not making myself wrong for that, but just noticing how much, and if it's coming out my mouth, then it's starting in here, and then really starting to look at, can I just say enough for the moment? Can I just look at this flower? Can I just dig this hole and move this worm? without a conversation, you know? It's a practice for me.
I have to tell Tim sometimes, oh, I'm just thinking out loud.
Right,
Yeah. Because I'm idle, and it's being
Right.
verbalized, and because he's looking at the clock. Go, oh, yeah, I'm just talking out loud. It's my thoughts coming out. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm working with that. So I found inspiration for a closing prayer today. I was looking for a prayer from Gangaji, but if there is one, I couldn't find it online. So I went to my next favorite non-dual teacher, which is Rupert Spira, and I'm going to use a prayer from his book, The Heart of Prayer, to close our conversation today. So feel free to close your eyes if you'd like, or just relax. Relax your jaw. Notice the ebb and flow of the breath. O my Lord, my whole being is yourself. And this mind which has been given me is your consort. The life force, breath, and energy which you have given me are your attendants. This body is the temple in which I worship you. Whatever I eat, or wear, or do, is all part of the worship I keep on doing at this temple. Even when this body goes to sleep at night, I feel like I am in union with you. Whenever I walk, I feel like I am going on pilgrimage to you. Whatever I speak is always in praise of you. In fact, whatever I do in this world in any way is aimed at you. And so there is no duality in this life of unity with yourself. And so it is. Amen.
Beautiful prayer.
Yeah. Another amazing teacher. So I invite you to join in the celebration of the work that we're doing in the world by sharing of your financial good this morning, should you choose to. And if you're at home, you can go to our website, mysticheart.org, to find a donate button or a mailing address. And as we receive your gifts today, we're going to play a video from a Michael Franti concert. And it's the song he currently opens his concerts with. And the introduction that he gives ties us nicely back to the Taizé this morning. And so it's a little longer than the normal videos for this, but I think you'll enjoy it. I wanted to be sure to share a bit of the experience of going to one of his concerts. I highly recommend it. So enjoy I'm Alive. I have to go back here where I can balance.
Dear Tosh, thank you for letting me be your father.
You've already changed me more than you'll ever know. Here are some things I want to share with you about the world. It's a really great place, but not great all the time. People don't always get along. Some people go to bed hungry. People destroy nature. Some people think you shouldn't be allowed to choose who you want to love. These days, we connect with each other more electronically than we do face to face. And less than a year ago, you were born into this beautiful, imperfect, and crazy world. Your mother and I already love you so much, but not everyone here on Earth is nice to each other all the time. Despite it all, Earth is still an incredible place, filled with nature, creativity, culture, food, music, dance, love, and hope. My hope is that you'll always feel free to be who you are. That someday you'll stand on your own 2 feet, fall in love like your mother and I did, and grow wings to fly wherever you choose to go. I want to prepare you, protect you, and be present for you. Some days I feel like I got this parenting thing down, and other days I'm scared. I worry. You see, there's a great battle taking place in the world today. A battle between cynicism and optimism. And I know it because I feel it inside of myself. You know, Taj, some days I find it hard to just wake up and see what's happening in the world. I'm trying, just like millions of people in millions of corners of this earth, to not let the world get me down. Hold on to my beliefs and dreams for you and for this planet, and to just stay human.
Levitate, how you feeling? Levitate, put your hands together. Levitate, tell me how you feeling. It's a beautiful day.
lives like that for 2 solid hours.
That's exhausting, just watching.
It was like going to some sort of a praise worship service. It was just amazing. But we're here to say thank you. Thank you, Spirit, for these gifts. Thank you for these blessed souls who brought these gifts and put them in the basket. I know that they are received with gratitude and with responsibility as we pledge to be good stewards of this community's funds and to use them in ways that bring us closer and ever closer to living in a love-soaked world. So I thank you, God. Thank you to each one here. We accept these gifts, and so it is. Here. And that page is blank, so it must be time to sing.
Must be.
Comfort food next door.
Comfort food is the theme. My comfort food was a big salad and a bowl of hummus. Everybody's comfort food is different.
All together, hand in hand, we see the light, we take a stand.